Are you ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
I can't hear you!
Aye, aye, Captain!
Oh!
Hello, scholars. Hello, hello. It's so very good to see you. Hello, hello. How are you today? Hello, hello. It's so very good to see you. Hello, hello. Time to sing and play.
Good morning, scholars! It is so great to be with you this week. Things are a little bit different, obviously, because I'm with you in the digital realm. We are online.
We have technology.
And I just want to make sure that you know that's basically just because the minimum day scheduling with all of my music classes, it just worked better this week and for us to do a distance lesson.
We have technology.
Obviously, I miss your beautiful shining faces. What does it even mean for a face to shine? Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm distracting myself. Let's get to our warm-up. Also, look at my cute new plant! Everybody stand on up, let's do a quick stretch. Roll your shoulders forward, back. Stretch your arms. Just a nice little tug. Reach up to the ceiling and down to your toes. And do a little squat and bring your hands back up. Take a deep breath in. Let's shake it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0. Shut. Who? He. Ha. Hey. All right, let's continue our warm-up. All right, scholars, we are going to continue having our dotted half note included in Zumba rhythm today, so make sure you hold it out for the full 3 beats. Here we go. Ta, ah, ah, cinnamon. Grasshopper. Tiki, tiki, tikam. Cinco, patim, ka, tiki, tiki. Tiki, 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 cinnamon. Okay, everybody. We have some tricky ones today. So let's do our best. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and ta, ah, ah, cinnamon. Grasshopper. Tiki, tiki, tikam. Cinco, patim, ka, tiki, tiki. Tiki, 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 cinnamon. Okay, I'm gonna give you permission to do something different. You don't need to use all of our weird words. You could just do it on a syllable, like this, if you want. Ta, da, da, da. Da, 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 da. Ba, 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 da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. It sounds pretty funny, but if it makes it easier for you, feel free to do it. I'll switch back this time. Ta, ah, ah, cinnamon. Grasshopper. Tiki, tiki, tikam. Cinco, patim, ka, tiki, tiki. Tiki, 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 cinnamon. Alright. So today for our main activity, we are going to be learning all about the drum set. There will be two stages to today's lesson. The first will just be learning all of the different instruments that actually make up a drum set. And then the second stage will be taking that new knowledge and being able to explore and mess around with it in an independent, interactive sort of way. So thankfully for stage one, there's a video that we're all going to watch together that walks us through all the different instruments that make up our drum set. You'll learn the names, you'll get to hear examples of how they're played. The drummer will talk about any of the mechanics or engineering that allows the drums to work. And then at the end, he'll put it all together in a really, really cool way. Without further ado, let's watch.
The fundamental foundation of the drum set is the bass drum. Around the turn of the 1800s into the 1900s, guys had the idea to start playing the bass drum with a pedal. And this is the first time that the idea became to play multiple percussion instruments with one person. And this is really the birth of the drum set. So let me give you an idea of what my bass drum sounds like. Now we'll talk about the snare drum. A lot of people consider the heart of the drum set to be the snare drum. In a lot of popular music, we play the snare drum on beats 2 and 4 as a backbeat. The snare drum is capable of all kinds of sounds. You can play it in many, many different ways, and you can play it with the snares on or the snares off. So I'm just going to play it a little bit right now and give you some ideas of what's capable with the snare drum. Now we'll talk about the toms. The toms are one of the elements of the drum set that you can really start to interject your personality with. Some people have many, many toms. Some people have just a couple of toms. I often like to just have one rack tom, 1 or 2 floor toms, and you can really get a lot out of the toms, and we're just going to play around and see a little bit about what we can get out of these. Now we're going to talk about the hi-hat. The hi-hat is 2 cymbals played together with this contraption that we call the hi-hat stand. The hi-hat started as the low boy, which was closer to the ground, and the foot would play 2 cymbals to try to approximate what it sounded like when one guy played 2 cymbals together. So we were trying to get one guy to do this with his foot so he could do other things around the kit. Eventually the hi-hat stand got higher so that people could play it with their hands as well. So there's a lot of sounds, possibilities with the hi-hat, so let me give you some ideas of what you can do. just talked about the hi-hat, so now let's talk about the rest of the cymbals within the kit. Let's start off by talking about the ride. It's called the ride cymbal because you play different patterns on it that help carry the music that you're playing. So I'll start off by playing it pretty simply and then show you some of what's possible by playing the different areas of the ride. You've got the bow of the ride, which you can get a nice clean focused sound on. You've got the edge where you can get a nice crash sound, and you got the bell as well. I generally like a larger ride cymbal. This one is 22 inches. Ride cymbals are all up to personal preference. I like mine to be a little bit darker, not quite as bright, and a little lower pitched than a lot of cymbals that are available. But it's all up to you, and it's all up to your personal preference. Next, we're going to talk about the crash cymbal. Crash cymbal is used to punctuate the music and play crashes. And you can play these to announce new sections of tunes, or you can use them as punctuation marks within the music. Crash cymbals are usually a little bit thinner, they have a little more impact, and they should have a pretty quick decay. For me, I like my crash cymbals to be able to be ridden on as well. All of my cymbals I like to be able to crash and ride at the same time. There are thousands of varieties of cymbals, everything from small splashes to large crashes and large chinas and gongs and many, many different things, and it's all up to your preference. I happen to like this over here. This is my trash crash, and you can see that it's hammered extra around the edge, and it provides a really trashy crash that blends with the music and also a really trashy ride. So it sounds a little like this. Now I'll just play around my cymbals and show you some of the different sounds that are possible. There are all types of different things you can add to the kit. Really, there is no limit. There's so many different things available. I have a few different things I like to put on the kit occasionally. Here's a bell. Here's a practice conga that I'll put on the floor tom. Here's some Pete Engelhart percussion. I usually have a cowbell right here, and there's a woodblock over here, and this is my signature Pandero, which gets a kind of floor tom with jingles sound. So I'm just going to play around with all these different voices and try to get some different things happening.
Okay, this brings us to stage 2. To tell you about stage 2, we're gonna go over to my computer and I'm gonna share my screen with all of you, and we're gonna walk through a particular part of a specific website where you're gonna be able to explore today. So let's go. All right, so as you can see, everybody, we are on onemotion.com. Some of you will remember that we used this thing called their chord player last year. Today, we are going to be using their drum machine. So I'm going to make my way there. When you press the link that your teachers will have, I have sent it out to them. It'll just take you directly here, but I wanted to show you that this is the same website that had chord player on it. So let's start with this. There's a row with a bunch of different spaces to put notes in, and those only play the kick sound. So if I turn down the snare, the hi-hat, the ride, now when I press play, we're only going to hear the kick sound. Okay? I'm going to turn those back up. So each row controls a different sound. Now in the old days with drum machines, you would only have one kick sound. You would only have one snare sound, one hi-hat, so on and so forth. However, here in the drum machine, if you go to the kit part and click on that, there's a bunch of different sounds that we have here. And they all sound super, super cool. Here's the kit TR-808, which is actually modeled after a very, very famous real drum machine. But you can change the BPM, the tempo. You could change the number of beats per bar. You could even, if you want to, change the number of notes that you can fit inside of a single beat. Another cool thing about drum machines is when they are arranged using pads. If you click on pads here, it just assigns a specific sound to all these different buttons. So here, kick is your 1 on the keyboard, snare is 2, 3 is snare rim, so on and so forth. So then, just like that, you can play a groove. And then there are 2 final things I want to show you. If you press this button right here that had drumsticks on it, you can see whatever you've laid out in the grid being played by a fake drummer, but they're actually playing it like a drummer would.
Technology.
Finally, there's this thing called the project menu, and if you really like the sound of a groove that you made, what you can do is you can export the WAV file, which means that you can just bounce the audio out of this. You can name it something, and I believe if you press OK, it'll probably open up on your device, and then you can save it somewhere on your device. I haven't tried it with Chromebooks, so you'll have to let me know if this works or not, but I know for me it looks a little bit like this. If I press OK, it creates a sound file, and then it downloads right here, and then I have access to it. And I can share it, I can play it for other people, and I think that's pretty much all I want to bring to your attention. With that, I want to give you some free time to explore, to create some grooves of your own. So I'm gonna get going. I will leave you to it. I hope that you all have an amazing Thanksgiving break, and I hope you know that I will be thinking about you on my Thanksgiving, as I am really, really thankful for all of you. I'm thankful that I'm gonna be able to see you in 2 weeks, and yeah, I guess I'll see you then. Take care, everybody. I'll see you later.